All right, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever it is when you watch this video, just make it apply. Let's get through these readings. We're going to start with the original tarot cards, and then from there, we'll go into some oracle cards, depending on what comes out in the main reading. Make sure you guys check out Otter Spirit for their crystals. I got the rose quartz and the green jade. I need to start wearing my green jade, but right now I'm feeling the rose quartz. Rose quartz with a good mojo bag, man, that's good business. That will manifest, you know, um, not just somebody coming into your life, but promoting self-love and the whole 9 yards. Love is not always about bringing some nappy-headed nigga in. Sometimes sometimes love is just loving yourself. So let's keep that in mind. So make sure that if you want to get some really good crystals, check out Otter Spirit. All right, let's see what is in the tarot cards. Thank you, Egon. Thank you, Spirit Guides. Thank you, Ancestors. Thank you, Sarabanda. Thank you, Risha. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Ola Dumare. Thank you, Ola Rune. Thank you, Ola Fi. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Remember, thank you, Anubis. Ashe. Remember, this is a general reading, so only take what resonates. I don't want to be hearing no shit where it's just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It went for you, Dan. It went for you, baby. It's not for you. Let's just see what's in these damn cards. Only take what resonates. Divination is confirmation. So I should be telling you things that your spirit team should have already told you, that they should have already warned you about in some type of way. All right, we got the Page of Pentacles. We've been getting the Page of Pentacles a lot lately. Right now, this is not indicating of love unless something else want to come out. This could be a contract with the Page of Pentacles. This could be a work contract. All right, we got the Page of Swords out here. Let's see what Spirit is about to give us this week, because I think this is the first video for the week. So let's see how we're gonna start this week off. All right, we got the Five of Wands. Motherfuckers getting in my way. That's the energy I'm getting right now. Because this looked like a work situation. Motherfuckers getting in my way. We got the Lovers that popped out. This is the only section of love that I'm getting, which means that it could be something else, unless one of y'all fucking somebody at work. Nasty ass. What is the challenge position? Motherfuckers getting in my way. Motherfuckers getting in my way. They gonna end up blocking me. Let me not claim that, because I just be saying shit on this channel. I'm surprised they haven't said shit to me yet, baby. Because the things that comes out my mouth, I don't even know why I say it. But that's the energy that I'm picking up when I see the this combination of the Page of Swords and the Five of Wands. It's like some motherfucker is trying to get in your way. Somebody is trying to compete. Somebody is trying to compete with you, baby. You have Justice card for the Empress. The Lovers can just represent. Well, the Lovers is a major arcana. The Lovers is technically more than just a partnership. You could be fucking somebody at the job. I mean, that it is what it is. Hey, if you like that work dick, then go for it. Who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell you not to get that work dick? If that's what you want, go for it, baby. I can't tell you not to. The Wheel of Fortune, something major is getting ready to happen in somebody's life. This is going to end up being a major shift. And the Wheel of Fortune is a destiny card, so it's going to happen no matter what. And this is going to end up being something good. The Wheel of Fortune, it represents good luck, it represents good karma, it represents going into a new season. So this could be someone that has been struggling financially, that a breakthrough is getting ready to come for you financially. I know it's not love. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that something good is getting ready to happen. And what is going to happen? You have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is very small, but at the end of the day, this is going to be the thing that you need. The Page of Pentacles is a job offer. The Page of Pentacles is a promotion. The Page of Pentacles, even though it's small, it carries weight. Where you might get a 10% raise, because, these companies are cheap. They pay people, I'm in HR, I know, they pay people less internally compared to externally. For an internal candidate, they will give them a 10% raise, which ain't shit. But for someone external, they will pay even more. And so, sometimes we gotta, watch our value a little bit. I have never been in the mindset of wanting to stay at a company like our parents' generation, that I can say, oh, I've been with this company for 20 years. Bitch, no. If I'm staying with a company for 20 years, this is going to be a company that is giving me raises and promotion, based on my performance, every single year. Our generation is not like our parents' generation. To stay at a company for that long in this climate, it will make you stagnant. Every promotion that I have gotten is by going to another company. When I first started off in HR, I was making $60,000. From 60,000, I went to 80,000. In a matter of a year or two, being with the same company. But that big jump of going to $100,000, it was a new company. And then getting to 120, it was a new company. And then getting to 140, it was a new company. And it keeps going on and on. That, me staying in my with the current company, it's like they value what you bring to the table, but it's also taking advantage of you, where they are like, oh, he's not going nowhere. Give him a 10% raise and maybe increase his bonus by 2%. And, we'll keep this nigga for another year. And, it's not beneficial to stay with a company for a long period of time in this generation, in this current climate. It's just not beneficial. A lot of jobs, HR jobs that I have gotten over other people, is because of how diverse my resume is. Where every single time where I have came up against someone that has 20 years of HR experience, but it's been with the same company or maybe two companies, they have always chose me over that person because I have HR experience in the manufacturing field. I have HR experience in the medical field. I have HR experience in retail. I have HR experience in fast food. I personally don't believe that, you should be giving a company too much time. At the 2-year mark, if you are not where you need to be financially, you need to be looking for another job. And a lot of times we stay at a job not because this job is just so good and it's family oriented and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you the truth. You're lazy as fuck. A lot of people don't like looking for another job because looking for another job is a job. It is work. When you have to work all day and then when you get off, you got to get on Indeed. You have to apply for all of these different jobs. And, we got to get out of especially y'all black people, especially y'all niggas. You gotta get out of the poor person mindset when applying for a job. The poor person mindset says that this resume is good for every job that I apply for. and this is why you don't land executive jobs. This is why you haven't gotten the money that you want. It's because you keep thinking with a poor person mindset. What is the difference between you and your director? The director gave it a shot and they believed that they could be the director, and so they applied for it. You stayed in a low level mindset thinking that you're not qualified for the director position, so you never gave it a shot, and that's why you're still a team member. That is the difference. Majority of the time, it has nothing to do with confidence. It has nothing, confidence is everything. It has nothing to do with, experience, degrees, and stuff like that. Sometimes it's you never gave it a shot, that you're more qualified than what you think. And I'm going to give you a quick lesson, and then we'll go back into this, is that when you are applying for a job, your resume is different for every single company you apply for. Is the first thing I do when I apply for a job, I look at the job description and I look at what the company is specifically looking for. If they are looking for someone with management experience, that you have been over a team of 15 plus, don't let the company assume that you don't have that experience. You specifically put that experience in your resume now because that's what they're specifically looking for. There are things that, that is the code of getting an interview, is that you look at the job description and you tweak your resume based on the job description, that you're not copying and pasting, that you're taking exactly what they put in their job description and you're putting it in your resume. No, what you're doing is you are looking at what they have on the job description, and then you're taking that exact thing and paraphrasing it based on your experience to make a statement in your resume. And so if they're saying, we're looking for somebody that know how to use applicant tracking systems. On my resume, I'm going to say I have experience with the following applicant tracking system: ISOMS, Paycor, Paycom, Good Day. I'm going to name a bunch of them that people know that I have experience in that. If they are saying that, I'm looking for people, with experience, recruiting for, retail positions, in my resume now, I'm going to say I have, 15 years of experience, recruiting for positions such as cashier, overnight stalker, you're going to name that stuff so that they can look at this and they can say, oh, this person is what we're looking for. And so, I'm the type of person on my resume, I'm constantly changing my titles. I change my titles based on what the company is looking for, because every position that I've had, I'm always either an HR business partner or I'm a director of HR. And so if I'm going for a recruiter position, my job consists of everything in HR. I do recruitment. I do onboarding. I do, I try not to do payroll and benefits, but I have experience with payroll and benefits. Employee relation issues, which is my number one thing. That is my strongest HR suit, is that I have years of experience, that, I have friends telling me what's going on at their job, and I just write an email and I'm like, send this to HR. All of a sudden, the company don't want no problems. All of a sudden, they like, how the fuck do this nigga know this lingo? How do they know this state and federal law? I just had a friend recently where, he told me, he was like, look, man, I found another job and the company told me that they will, increase my pay to $27 if I stay. But the moment that I rejected the other job, they never gave me the $27. And he was like, this was promised to me back in March, but I still haven't gotten that $27 to this day. Boy, and the first thing I asked, I'm like, well, do you have proof? Do you have proof that, they promised you this? And the first thing he said, he was like, no. He was like, damn, Rashad, I feel so fucked up. I'm too old to fall for this. I really should have gotten some type of documentation. And he was like, I didn't push them to give me an offer letter. That's the first mistake. A lot of people think that proof is an offer letter. Proof is any form of any documented conversation. And I'm like, okay, well, you may not have an offer letter, but how did you communicate to this person? And he was like, oh, I communicated verbally. Well, when you communicated with this person verbally, did you follow up through email or something like that? And he was like, no, I didn't follow up in email and stuff like that, and I really should have did it. And I was like, well, what's been going over lately? He was like, I've been sending them text messages, cussing them out. He was like, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, in the text message, did you ever mention like, hey, you motherfucker said that you were going to give me $27 and you never gave it to me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, what was their response to it? And he was like, oh, they responded back saying, yeah, but, things, changed and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, now we're getting somewhere. That's a contract. You just said that this is what the company promised you. And they just said in writing that this did occur, that this did happen, that you are not lying about what you are saying. I'm like, nigga, send me those screenshots. Send me those motherfucking screenshots. I wrote an email so bad explaining Arizona law, explaining federal law, explaining everything that support. And I told the company, I'm like, look, you got 30 days to respond to this. You got 30 days to correct this. And if you don't fix this in the next 30 days, this is going to the Department of Labor. And I don't know why. I tell people all the time to just copy and paste my email and send it to the company as if it's coming from them. This nigga done took it and just sent it to the company with my name and everything on there. And the company ended up writing me back with him, CC'd. And I'm like, I'm not the employee. But I tell you one thing, that that person was like, we're going to, honor the agreement that your manager made. And, we're going to give you back pay. Of course you will. Because now you got somebody that's not cussing you out, that's being reactive. You have somebody that is stating the law and that is telling you that under the law, you are obligated to get this now because this is what you promised. And if you don't do it, then we're going to go to the Department of Labor that is going to force you to give this to them. And they're going to force you to give back pay. And then if you don't do it in a certain amount of time, they will increase the amount that is owed to you because now they're going to make the company pay you interest. And they're going to end up giving the company a fine. And so, sometimes you need a good friend in HR that knows the law, that knows state and federal law so that you know what to do to protect yourself. That's my little spiel. I'm done. HR is my field. But, to get back on topic, sometimes, because my positions are, every component of HR, if I want to say I'm just an onboarding specialist, I can, because I'm not lying. I have done onboarding for this company. If I don't want to add all of the other things I do and I only want to say onboarding, you can do that. That's not a lie. If I say that I'm the employee relations specialist, I can change my title because I do employee relation for 60 stores. If my only thing is I do more than that, but I just don't want you to know that at this moment. I just want you to know that I have experience with employee relation issues. So sometimes you have to tweak your resume for every job that you apply for. And I get it. I know it's tiresome. I know it's a lot of work, but it's going to get you the position that you need. It's going to get you the money that you are able to provide for you and your family. And so it's like, if we're going to do it, let's do it the right way and let's get these coins together. That's my spiel. I'm done. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that something is destined to come in, that good karma is coming in for you, and this is going to be the form of a contract. Get ready to sign an offer letter or a promotion letter for somebody. You have in the crossing energy, you have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is all about new ideas and communication. There is some type of idea that you're going to bring to the forefront in the workplace, and this is going to be the thing that gives you the spotlight. And so if Spirit is telling you to ask about changing a process, changing a policy or something like that, changing the SOP, you don't realize how that ideal is going to be so beneficial that this is going to be the thing that's going to put you on the map in order for you to get this promotion. And so good things is coming in for somebody. Money is following somebody. But you do have the Five of Wands here, which is some hating ass bitches. When you put this new idea out there, this is going to come with strife and competition. People are going to be looking at you like, look, Empress, who the fuck are you that you think that you can come in and take my coins? People are going to end up fighting you for this idea that you are, bringing to the forefront. But this idea is the very thing that is giving you this offer letter, that is giving you this promotion letter. This is someone that you need to be bold and don't give a fuck about what anybody else have to say in the workplace, because a blessing is getting ready to be yours. Money is coming in for one of you. Some of you motherfuckers. Money is getting ready to come in. You're getting ready to receive an increase when it comes to employment. You have the Lovers here. The Lovers is a major arcana, and you have it paired with the Two of Swords, which is the difficult decision. And this energy is all about the workplace. And so I'm going to automatically assume that this is still workplace related because this is heavy workplace energy. Some of you motherfuckers are messing around with somebody at the job. You're interested with somebody in a job, and it's coming to a point that, a decision is going to be, forced to be made. And so, someone is definitely talking to somebody on the job, or somebody is noticing you on the job, and you're going to have to end up making a difficult decision. I, promote love on the job as long as it's not a conflict of interest. If you are in two different departments, then no matter what, it's not going to be a conflict of interest. If you are in the same department, especially if one of you have a higher position than the other, that is going to be a conflict of interest. That is going to end up being seen as favoritism. If something happened, within that department, it's best not to put yourself in that position. It's better to just, for somebody to transfer to a different department that, this won't be messy. And then, especially if if the relationship don't work out and that person is still in your department, that's going to be messy in and of itself. And if you're the manager, you always risk this person coming back with false accusations, talking about sexual harassment. And that is one of the reasons why I don't really like, sexual romantic things in the workplace. Because when it don't work out, they can always say, now since I'm not giving you this pussy anymore, I'm being written up. Now since I'm not giving you this pussy anymore, you passed me on a promotion. And even though it cannot be true, when you look at the elements of everything, what is definitely not true can be seen as truth because of everything else that's presented. Be careful. You have in the challenge position, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is sending her powers because she's finna get these coins. She's finna get another coin. This is somebody that's getting ready to get an offer letter or a promotion. And, it's saying that justice is going to be yours. This is, baby, somebody is getting ready to level up when it comes to the job. And you have the card at the bottom of the deck. You have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is about an investment. The company is about to invest in you. This is someone that is getting a promotion on the job. So Money is definitely here. Even under that, you have the ace of wands, which is a passion and new beginning. There we go again with a mixture of money and love. Be careful messing around with somebody on the job. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Be very careful. I understand love is love, and some of y'all just horny as hell, and it's like, look, I'm not getting it from nowhere else, Rashad. I gotta get it from somewhere. I don't go out to the club and stuff like that. That's fine. Just make sure that wet pussy is not gonna get you in trouble on the job. Like, just be careful. We're gonna do a new deck today. It's called What's the Tea? We're already in the energy of career and finance. Let's see if we're gonna stay on that energy or if we're gonna shift to something else. So let's see what the overall energy is going to be in this deck. Maybe it might talk about this love relationship that is forming on the job. Because that I'm like, we need to be careful. Look at that jackpot, boy. This is fucking money. Somebody is really blessed financially. I'm happy. We've been on this love journey for such a long period of time. I'm ready to jump ship. Somebody is getting ready to get money coming in. Money is coming in. This motherfucker. Money is coming in for somebody. Come on, Spirit. Let's keep this money going. Shit. Let's keep this money going. Come on now. Okay, we need to be a little bit careful. No, see, I like how Spirit be moving. A lot of people don't like when I drift off and when I talk about other things. Like, I just told you the situation of what happened with one of my friends, and they were like, nah, and actually it's my neighbor son, and he like, nah, my mama neighbor is HR, and he's good. I'm finna contact him and I'm finna tell him what's going on. And a lot of people don't like when I drift off into these different things. But if you notice, everything always sync. Everything comes together, because this random story that Spirit just, put in my spirit to tell, and now all of a sudden you have a dirty offer that's coming in. You just had it in the main reading that an offer is getting ready to come in, and now over here it's saying that this is going to end up being a dirty offer, which means that it might not be like bad, but what it is saying is that you need to read the fine print. Where if somebody is telling you, hey, I'm going to put you in the supervisor position, I'm going to have you to be acting supervisor, this is somebody that needs to say, don't be afraid to say, hey, since I have managerial duties now, and based on federal law, this has now changed my position. Give me a temporary offer letter for this. Give me something in writing saying that, I'm temporarily, I'm the acting manager in this department, and let's get your pinnacles for that. Because you have managerial duties, why the fuck are you going to stay at a team member pay rate? I'm telling you, all these things flow together. These things are never random. What Spirit is telling me to bring up, it always flows back in the reading. Now we got a dirty motherfucking offer. But still good energy. You still got money coming in. Talking shit. Gossiping. Here we go. We already got this energy from the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is saying that when the Page of Swords was saying that you're getting ready to come up with a new idea. That you could be changing a policy, you could be updating one of the books or something at work, and that is going to put you on the spotlight. And the moment that happens, now all of a sudden you have the Five of Wands as the clarifier, and the Five of Wands is fight, conflict. This is when people are going to turn on you. Now people are like, oh, bitch, you think you something because you are going to be seen in a different light. This is a team member that's going to a manager position. And now because of that, your relationships can change with these people because now you got to write them up when they go out and, do all of these, smoke breaks, that even though you were joining them when you were a team member, now you're in a different position and it's your job to stop this shit. What is the challenge? Look at that. This I love when it's all flowing. Ignoring. And now you got the card at the bottom of the deck, uninterested. And then look at that. Ooh, look at that white man. Boss daddy is right under that. So let's get into this energy and let's connect it back to the previous reading because everything flows together. You have jackpot as the overall energy with this deck. Money is coming in for somebody. Baby, this is somebody that's getting ready to level up. But you have in the crossing energy, you have dirty offer. Just like I told you in the beginning of this, when we start talking about, me, helping this one guy out and, threatening the company that if they don't fix this, we're going to the Department of Labor. Be careful. Really look at the offer that you're getting. Number one, make sure that it's an offer and that it's going to be in writing. If it's not going to be in writing, you need to do just like him and you need to put this shit in text messages, emails, or anything that you can go back and say, this is what you promised me. I'm the master of sending an email saying, per our conversation. Whether I talk to you over the phone or whatever, per our conversation, this is what was said. And, if we're not going to go to that level of email, we need to, at the basic, through text messages where it's like, hey, John, you told me that, you wanted me to be the acting manager, for a month just to see how I do. And then after that, you'll consider me for a promotion. Write that back in text message because that can be beneficial later, especially if you have to fight the fact that you were doing managerial duties and wasn't getting paid for it. So let's put that shit in writing because, the one thing that I will tell everybody, I tell all of my managers, if it's not written, it never happened. If it's not written, it was never said. If it's not written, it was never done. Everything must be documented. Everything must be in writing. There's going to be something dirty about this offer. Whether is, they're not giving you the money that you asked for, where they could have verbally said, they were going to give you $20 an hour, but the offer letter says 17. And then when you question them about it, they're like, oh no, we gotta, start you at 17, but eventually you'll be at $20 by January. Then motherfucker, you need to put this in the offer letter before I sign it. Because what I'm signing right now is saying $17 an hour. And so be very careful with this offer. Make sure you read all of the fine print before you sign this offer letter. You have talking shit as the card for the crowning energy. This is someone that's going to be gossiping about you. This is someone that's gossiping because you got good things going on. When a motherfucker is leveling up, it's always some bitches that's trying to be a crab in the barrel that will bring you down. And so it's like, that's one of those things, get used to it. Gossip is a good sign because it's saying that you're doing something right. And so you have in a challenge position, you have ignoring, and this is talking about, avoiding messages, giving the silence treatment and left on red. And so, and then right under that, you got uninterested. This is someone that because you're getting ready to go into a manager position, this could be someone because you had the lovers in the last reading with the Two of Swords. And the Lovers was, and it was all about workplace energy. And so this is someone now, since you're getting ready to get that promotion, that you're getting ready to go into a better position at work. This is somebody that's saying now, nah, I don't need to be fucking nobody at this job. And because of that, you're ignoring this person now. And even the card at the bottom of the deck is saying that you're uninterested in this person. And it's all because you're getting ready to be boss daddy. You're getting ready to be boss daddy. Money is getting ready to come in. I love. We haven't had a money read in such a long time. I don't know who energy I'm going in, but baby, whoever energy this is, praise to you. I love this energy. I mean, you was giving that pussy or dick up on the job, but hey, that was the only. But at the end of the day, like, this is good energy. This is another deck where the tea is already spilled. The last deck, well, what's the tea? This is tea spilled. Let's see what's in the oracle cards. What is going to come out? We are already in this great, powerful energy of money. Let's see, love is not standing a chance, this week. It's not popping out, because this is someone that is more, this is someone that's more worried about, money right now than it is love. We got a card that's talking about cultural differences. And so, this could be that, this could be a position where, this could be a position where, you may end up like working with, more Hispanic people, more Asian people that, speak a different language, but this is something that you can face that challenge. A lot of my stores are heavy, Hispanic, Mexican, and, it's people in the store that the only thing they do is speak Spanish. But when we converse with each other, we're very patient. That, we sit down at the desk and we do Google Translate. I say what I need to say and give them the phone. They say what they need to say and give me the phone back. And it's a longer process. But hey, at the end of the day, we getting shit done. And so this is someone that, one of the things about this position that you're getting ready to face, is that, there may end up being, some type of cultural difference. You got playing both sides. Someone is trying to appease everyone, especially with you going into, you keep getting this thing of, competitions, fights and stuff like that. When you getting ready to go into this position, you got somebody that's going to be playing both sides, that they're going to be cheering you on and talking shit about you behind your back. And it's funny how it's keep falling in the same position, where it's like, be careful, but you are going to get, what was that? Because I didn't mix them up. Oh, you got talking shit. So yeah, you keep getting a lot of things in alignment. You got talking shit, you got playing both sides, and then in the original one, you got the 5 of Wands. And so, this is someone that is going to, do both. They're going to be, praising you for, leveling up, but at the same time, talking shit behind your back. They like, yeah, that motherfucker ain't shit. I remember when that bitch was, sucking this nigga dick in the bathroom. You have, and it's funny that I say that, and then you have public exposure, where it says private matters could be exposed. That's why I don't like doing shit in the workplace, because, you have a lot of jealous and envious spirit in the workplace that, when you level up, they will try to do things to bring you down. And then look at that. You got double cross. You got double crossed here. And then you got a release expectations. Let go of expectation and allow things to unfold naturally. This one is still hitting on the same thing, but it's going a whole lot deeper. It's going deeper into it. You have that there's going to be a bridging differences, cultural differences, here. And so, this could be a position because it's still talking about growth. Cultural differences bring both challenges and growth. In this position, this could be someone, like I said, that you could be working with people that's, a different language than you, and there could be language barriers and stuff. But those are things that can be overcome. You just need to be creative in finding those ways that you can still get your message across. You got playing both sides. Be very careful because someone is trying to appease everyone. You have, and right across from there, you have double cross. So you got someone that is, trying to play both sides. You have public exposure. You have private matters could be exposed. It's funny. This is what, this, spirit is funny. Spirit is funny. I heard it clear as day. Somebody answers, or somebody's spirit just said, before you go into this position, the person that you could be messing around with on the job, the spirit was like, get their phone, while you are with them, get their phone and delete every last one of those messages and stuff from out of their phone, because this is going to be someone, like in the last reading it said, you're going to eventually break up with this person and you're going to be uninterested, and this could make this person very salty and create a lot of mess in the workplace, and this could be the very person that's going to end up double crossing you. And so, Spirit said clear as day, it was like, delete that motherfucking shit from their phone, and it's like, once you delete that shit from their phone, it's nothing to be exposed, bitch. So it's like, you got to do what you got to do. If this reading is for you, because you should know that you're getting ready to go through a level up, because Spirit is already, giving you these things. And, with this energy, this could be someone in a very messy work environment. The work environment is already messy to be doing this shit, and so public exposure is in the crowning energy, which is the current energy, and so, and notice how, the light is shining down on this person. And the last reading, the original reading, it was basically saying like all eyes is about to be on you. And it's like the moment that all eyes is on you, now somebody want to work against you, and you notice how this is back at the position of the, this is back in the crowning position. Everything is keep being in the same place. What was the card? What was over here? You got talking shit, dirty offer. So, overall energy has been good, but in the crossing energy, you had the Page of Swords with the Five of Wands, which is saying you're going to come up with a new idea, and then people are going to end up hating on you. In this same position, you had Dirty Offer from the second read, and then now the third reading, you have Playing Both Sides, all in the crossing energy. And so there's going to be some interference with with people, messing with this position, people messing with you to try to get you out of this blessing. In this energy, in the crowning energy, the original one was the Lovers with the Two of Swords. The Lovers was saying that you could have a love relationship on the job and it's time for you to make a difficult decision. And then clearly the decision can be that you're uninterested in the person, because that's what came out in the second reading. But we're talking about what fell in the same position. After the Lovers and the Two of Swords of making a decision, then what came in the crossing energy was talking shit. And now what is coming in the crossing energy is public exposure. And so this could be someone, when you give them the news of saying, you know what, you're no longer interested, that they can try to do some harm to your image in the workplace. if I was you, like, what your spirit just said, it said delete that motherfucking shit from the phone while you still talking to them. I would do that, and I would be upfront and honest when taking a position where I would say that, like, hey, just to let you know, I was dating this person in my department, because the company may say, because there's a history there, we are going to move this person to another department so that there's not going to be a conflict of interest where it limits this mess. We have in the challenge position now. We have, releasing expectations. Let it flow. Let universe is going to do its thing. Your spirit guides are in control, but it is warning you that somebody is going to double cross you. And it seemed like the very motherfucker you was messing around with, in the workplace. I like that we're getting off of love, and this is something new, but it's still just as messy. Still just as messy. Goddamn. You got control issues at the bottom. Controls issues are present in your relationship. That could be one of the reasons why you're no longer interested in this person at work. This could be someone that's, very controlling. And now with you getting into a higher position, this is something that could make them go into a power trip. It's like you was taking a dick, now you they boss. They like, oh shit, bitch. Honestly, there's no other deck that we need to go into, because the rest are specifically in love, and everything else, everything in this reading is more about money coming in than it is, love. And so, money is coming in for someone. You have angel number 1441, which talks about a unique skill. Remember, we went about this in the very first reading, where it said with the Page of Swords, with the Five of Wands, that somebody is going to present some type of new idea. You're going to update a policy, update the SOP, update one of the books in there. You're going to do something, and that is what's going to put all eyes on you. And this is a very unique skill that you have that's going to end up having people to see you in a different light. That money is going to come in from you. A promotion is going to end up coming from this. That is it, man. This is some really good energy for the week. This has been a good shift. Eventually, it's always bouncing from everything: money, love, spiritual path, all types of stuff. Whatever spirit want to talk about, spirit can talk about. But this is really, man, this is a very, promising read. Don't be giving that pussy and dick up in the workplace, though. Try to always separate those two. Where you work, you don't play. That's a big no-no. Where you work, you do not play. Wrap that pussy up at work. Don't be sucking no dick and stuff in the bathroom, and then, being somebody manager the next day. Don't merge those two. Work and play need to always be separated. Let these motherfucking men flirt and everything else. But at the end of the day, you never know what you're going to be tomorrow. You never know what role or what position you're going to be in the next day. And so always separate those two. Tell these dirty ass dick niggas no. And I know the guys are always like, you always saying that about the guys. Tell those stinking ass pussies in the workplace the same thing. No. So now we even on both sides. I'm out.